Hello, Paul McFarland. You know who this is. I'm going to talk about something that people like to talk about, which is what is wrong with advertising. Or rather, what is wrong with advertising today. All right, get yourself comfortable. Here it comes. I often say that the world has always been a 99-to-1 ratio of ordinary crap to stellar. 99-to-1. And it still is today. My job is to take that one and get it to 2. But the only thing that we always used to hear is, oh, there are more ads now than ever before, and people are assaulted by so many more. For a long time, that was never true. But these days, it is verifiably true. You're looking at this on a computer, on an iPad, an iPhone, a Droid, whatever. How many apps do you have open? How many social media apps do you have open? How many red dots are there? We are getting more and more and more and more and more and more. I did a video recently about the simple math problem of these screens are only so big, you can only see so much, remember? And if you haven't seen that, find it on LinkedIn or whatever and watch that and then come back to this one. I'll wait. Oh, so you have seen that. So the amount of messages, the amount of startups, the amount of posts, the amount of videos like this one are going up exponentially every day. You could probably say that on every single day there are more videos being shot than there were in the whole history of the world up to that day. So there's more and more and more of that 99%. More and more of that 99%, which is ordinary average. And the sad thing is, on LinkedIn, it is becoming increasingly in the advertising world a fucking echo chamber. First of all, we all know we got to get our posts out all the time, and you post every employee of the agency posts the exact same press release, the same, we won this business, we're won a lion, here's our new work, everyone loved our newest activation. I know everyone does that. Everyone does that, but it adds just so much tonnage of the same thing in that tight little space. So the impression we're all getting is so compressed of all the things you can see in Ward Annual in the old days. Now we see so little of everything there is. You have to work so hard, which is, what do? I stand for and follow the agencies that I really like, and I shut out a lot of other things. I love Uncommon to death. I love Gasp. I love Mischief, of course. And the thing is that the new work that should be out there, that should be being seen, you almost have to follow the local, Addy award shows to find the little startups and the breakaways that are doing something for whatever, just to show what they can do, to get a sense of hope and progress in advertising, that the work is getting better, or that at least there are enough people always trying to hit that top. I'm sorry, the top's way up here. It's a matter of tonnage, a tonnage of ordinary, and how difficult it is on LinkedIn and other media to actually find the brilliant work that may be done that no one ever sees by shops no one knows about, because they don't have the clout of the big, giant, boring, blah, blah, blah holding companies to push their work out there. So, tonnage. Now let's move to big and bad. Big agencies do bad work. I'm sorry, it's true. They get scared, and it's just like when you become a certain age and you get a mortgage, you become a Republican, they used to say. Well, Morton J. Chiat, I miss you every day, said, how big can we get before we get bad? Yeah, and everyone goes, ah, ha, 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 when the Nissan first campaign came out, or whoever came out. It was a question and not a claim. It's a question we should all be asking us: how big can you get without becoming bad? Well, you have to know the difference between being bad or not in the first place to even engage with that. But big agencies do crap work in general. They have to, because when they get really big, you get scared of losing things, and you get scared and you stop pushing your clients because you don't want to have people be fired. This is where I'd like to hear from CEOs of all the other agencies out there. How do you draw the line between we have to do great work and we don't want to fire good, nice people? I said nice people. I started to say good. The hardest thing you ever have to do when you own an agency is when you have to take the time to explain to someone who's a decent human being that they're not going to be an employee anymore, and to tell them the truth and why, and to do it in such a way that they can feel that they can go on and rise above it. It's really hard to do. And when there are mass layoffs at agencies, that have been in history, it's blood. And the thing is, what happens when these things go? Well, some people start new agencies. Some people become freelancers. There's a lot of that now with the aging population of advertising creatives. Everyone goes freelance and they get scared shitless, having to become a business person. Well, I went freelance or opened my own agency so many years ago, it's like secondhand. Anyway, let's stick to my point. The bigger you get, the worse the work gets, because of all the fear and all the other people who tell you we're big and we need to get bigger, we need to stay big, and getting rid of people hurts. So is there a magic size? Well, we always think there's a magic size where you're growing and doing great work, but you never get so big that the work gets bad. Sometimes it's because the people who are running the agency are older creative people who get tired and want yachts and want to retire and want to buy property in the south of France or wherever they want, the Berkshires. They want to buy a better car. They're paying off divorces and whatever. They get concerns away from the work. Young people are hungry. They want to do work. Get young people running the agencies. Yes, I said it. Get young people running the agencies, making those decisions. But keep senior people right in their pocket so they don't ever make a decision that ruins the brand, kills the work, or puts the company out of business. But get young people who have the fire in their belly to run the agency and bring that spirit to everyone. Because, again, old people who get boring and get afraid and run agencies make for big bad agencies, and you see it everywhere. I'm not going to mention the giant agencies who post things on LinkedIn about how great their work is and how the awards they're winning and how the team is great, and the brands that are involved in that say the same thing. Oh, everything's great, the team's great, we won this award, we won. And then you look for the sales results online and yeah. Big makes bad. So how do you maintain, we'll get to that, what's wrong with advertising? Enough people have bought a lie. This is what's wrong with advertising today. Enough people have bought a lie. And the lie they have bought is that advertising is dead. And people don't watch long things anymore. And people don't read anymore. And people don't believe in brands anymore. And people, all that bullshit. The truth is, technology and social media has changed the way people access things in big ways. But people have not changed. Until someone can prove that people have changed scientifically, spiritually, emotionally, culturally, physically, until one of these charlatan bullshit liars will actually stand up and try to prove that human beings no longer want love, human beings no longer are afraid, human beings no longer get lonely, human beings no longer get depressed, human beings no longer like to laugh, Human beings no longer like crazy fun things to make them, grow. Until they can prove that the band Rush didn't exist for 40 years by having very intelligent music and lyrics and got galvanized die-hard fans for 40 years. Until these lying charlatans can actually stand up and try and prove what I'm saying is wrong, then they are absolute liars and charlatans, spreading rumors because they don't trust in creativity and they don't trust in the human race. In fact, I'll say they don't even particularly like the human race. They're antisocial. They're sociopaths on some level. That's what's wrong. Enough people have bought the lie that advertising has changed and people have changed. I've heard more than one brewing holding company executives say at some point that beer drinkers have changed. Oh, no. That person, I want their job for a month. Beer drinkers have not changed. Breweries have changed the way they think about their own product to them. I'll say this as quickly as possible. Why are the top 3 beers in America all light beers? Because all the brewers told us for years that light beers were just as good. And eventually, enough people said, okay, I just want a buzz, and if I can get it from a Bud Light or a Miller Lite or a Coors Light, fine. I don't need to drink Gold, the Banquet, real Coors. I don't need to drink Budweiser anymore. It's just what you told us. These self-fulfilling failures. Well, you can say they grew the light beer business, yeah, but at the sacrifice of that. And you look at what people say, that the consumers changed, and the beer drinkers have changed. No, they haven't. We still are human beings, and if you treated us like human beings and understood what a product was or a service was and meant to us and maintained that as you freshened it up for the modern day, you wouldn't be in the problems you were in. So, people have bought the lie. Enough people have bought the lie. But I'll say it again, I'm an optimist. I am a fiery optimist. And I'm optimistic that someone will actually watch this whole video. There are enough people who I see evidence of every day who care about the human race to do work that not only sells a worthy product or service, but treats the target audience, the public, with respect and honor and love. I see that. And I've got a lot of really good friends and connections here on LinkedIn who we all believe the same thing. I just want us all to lock arms and form a barricade and not let the crap get sold anymore. So what else is wrong? This is a human thing on LinkedIn and on all the things that are posted on LinkedIn, from whether it's the Drum or whether it's from the Clios or Ad Age or Ad Week or whoever award you want. We're drinking our own diarrhea. I'm sorry, that's disgusting, but we are drinking our own diarrhea. The diarrhea is the idea that awards matter and they do everything that they're supposed to do. I love award-winning work. I just think the award business needs to be chloroformed. Sorry, those of you who make a business from it, you know I'm right. It's wrong, and it's gotten really bad. But the desire to still do what I call award-winning work will never go away, and the benefits that true creatively focused agencies do with awards, and I have already named the ones I like the best, and if there are other ones that you would want me to say are as good, come reach out to me. I would love to celebrate 10, 20, 30, 40 great agencies of any size, but LinkedIn makes it hard to find you. Makes it hard enough to find me. I mean, come on, right? So drinking our own diarrhea means that the poor digestion, the virus that's in the body, what creates poor digestion and liquefies everything as quick as possible, is literally what's happening. But we drink it. We say something that is true, whether it is or it isn't, and we repeat it, and we have everyone post it. We produce brand advertising that lives so firmly in ad land, make believe, and I don't mean fantasies or true imagination, I mean plastic looking land, as if that is reality. And enough people who produce this diarrhea will drink it happily and say, yes, it's a chocolate milkshake. Remember what I said first? It's a 99-1 world. It still is. But the problem is, when the younger generation says, we're going to reject the old and fix everything, time and time again, the very few who never give in and never give up are the ones who should be running things. And why should we be running things? The ones who never give in and never give up should be running things. Because it'll make the agencies better, because it'll make the clients buy better, work better. And yeah, but that's not the point. The point is making this a better fucking world. People on talk shows used to talk about great creative commercials. They were better than the TV. But now TV is better than the commercials in general. There used to be funny commercials that sold product. Remember, awareness is number one. And then getting people to understand what you have and like it and be compelled to want to buy it or try it is next. But what's wrong with advertising today? The last thing I'll say, and I could go on all night, is there's a proliferation of publishing the process. In the previous decades, there were agencies that had names for their proprietary process, our Wizzo, Bango, creative process that guarantees you, blah, blah, blah. And there's a need for that. People seem to want that. But the proliferation in 14 different thousand people on LinkedIn saying essentially the same thing the same way, saying this is what advertising is, and this is what strategy is, and this is what you should think about, and this is what you should. I hope those people are actually doing the work and not just constantly talking about lists and formulas. There's 2 or 3 of them out there who I think do a fantastic job at teaching and inspiring. And you know who you are, because I let you know that I think you're great. But there's a lot of people who post things and agencies. Oh, the worst, I got to talk about one more thing that's really bad. The webinars and seminars where agency people are going to be speaking. For once, post an image or a video of you listening at a seminar. And I promise you, I'll repost that with my thoughts. It's this idea that you can say things like, AI is really going to change things. And that's the quote, why I should pay attention to you at a webinar. Or when people say, important things that stories are more important than ever, and that's your topic at a webinar, that people are supposed to pay money to travel to go to hear you say that. I think most of those people should break off and start a new agency called the Institute for Figuring Out Bloody Obvious Things and Partners. Who are you trying to impress with stating the obvious old fact? I don't get it. That's what's wrong with advertising too. My favorite books, and there are many, some of my favorite books, as you know, are the ones that are done like Delusions of Brandir and How Brands Blow, because they call this stuff out with humor. But my wonderful colleague, who's one of the head of Uncommon, did a little article about things he thought was wrong with advertising today. I'm too tired to type, so I'm just going to talk. I'm tired because I stay up late thinking about our industry. I think about my place in it, and I think about how to make the world better through advertising. Yes, I believe you can make this a better world through better advertising. You can fix any social problem, mental health, anything, with better branding and advertising. Because it is a pulpit, it is a lectern to the world where you can say anything you want as long as people will listen. And considering how many great ways there are to get people's attention and keep it, There really are a lot. I just don't see many of them anymore. It's something that can really be done. I hope you can hear a little bit of the next room where someone's watching some sort of film, because if you get a little bit of sound effects, it's like this background track to this, which I think is very funny. In fact, that would be an interesting advertising technique, to have a message going on behind the message. Let people try to split their attention between what someone was saying and something very different that was being heard but not seen. That would be a great social experiment and be very interesting, don't you think? Well, when I'm up to 20 minutes here, and I will say at this point, if anyone actually is still listening, because that shows either you have nothing better to do, and I'm sorry, but I hope it shows that you're thoughtful enough and you believe in this industry enough to hear what I have to say about it, and hopefully you'll add to it. You'll call out something I'm saying at a certain moment and argue against it. I have a hair in my nose here. I can't know what's happening here, so it's not a nervous tech. It's actually something. So anyway, what I think is wrong with advertising in 2024, those are the main points. There's always going to be hacks and people who are not yet where they're going to be yet in quality who still get seen. But what's wrong with advertising in 2024? There just isn't enough agencies and clients who love the human race enough to really heal them, really inspire them, really entertain them, really make a difference in their lives through the products and services they do the work for. So, what do I think is right? I've already talked about it. I think there's enough people who really care, but I think there's people who care who I don't know yet. I haven't met you. We haven't talked. We haven't Zoomed. We haven't commented on each other's content. So with that water, I'll remind you that life is a stream. It is a stream going to an ocean of some kind. And as we're flowing, we're picking up things from all sorts of tributaries. They may give us speed. They may dirty us up. They may have an animal meet another animal. Says, thank you very much for coming into this stream. Come. And in this life of choosing to do what I've done for my business, because I'm bloody good at it, I get better and better all the time, which is really fun. I get better and better and faster, which is really fun. Remember, we're all going to die. And I'm not saying advertising is a reason for being alive, but if you are doing advertising, make the work worth being alive for. Make the effect you want to have in the world for your clients, worthy clients, but for the people whose money they want to grab. Make it worth their life. Or rather, make it worth their while, the time they spend with your message to say, yeah, okay, I'll try it out. But give thanks for that. Give thanks for the fact that you had the ability to inspire other people, awaken other people, motivate other people, sell to other people. Give thanks for that. But take it seriously. Take that responsibility seriously. Take that work very seriously. But don't take yourself seriously. That's another thing. My gosh. The agencies I like, they don't take themselves that seriously. They're very grateful for their gifts and for their opportunities. But it's the big, boring, bad ones who take themselves so seriously. Well, anyway, Niles, if you thought this was useful, you know what to do. We can talk. And remember, Niles Leonard, this is what I was inspired by your missive that you typed to this 25-minute for me. But it's because I care that much. I can do this all night to try and help each of you to believe in yourselves, for your agencies to step up the work, for clients to want to support and buy and publish better work for the human race. Come on, do it. Do it. Not for me. Well, do it for me, but do it for everybody. Have better ideas, produce better advertising for better clients and better brands to make this world better. People laugh more. They buy actually good products instead of crap products. And they think a little bit more and become more thoughtful because of what we do. God bless you all. The agencies I mentioned earlier, you know who you are. And if you're an agency, you don't know whether I like you or not, let me know. That means I've missed something. I don't know if I'll ever do another one of these, but I probably will. Thanks for listening and watching, if you did. And for skipping ahead and trying to see what point I was making, thank you for that. And those of you who just said, oh, screw this, I'm not watching this, it's too long. I hope that means you're busy doing great work.